Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. Hope you will be fine by grace of Almighty Allah. In my last lecture, I have discussed with you the natural vegetative propagation of plants, and we studied about the examples such as and methods of natural vegetative propagation such as budding, bulb, tuber and runner. Today we are going to study about artificial vegetative propagation. Our topic is artificial vegetative propagation, that how we use different vegetative part of plant artificially to grow new plants. So there are four methods of artificial vegetative propagation: cutting, layering, grafting and tissue culture. But at this level, at grade 6, we will discuss only three methods: cutting, layering and grafting. But I will give you some introduction about tissue culture as well. So keep in mind and remember it that there are these methods of artificial vegetative propagation, and recall that what is vegetative propagation: the type of propagation or the development of new plants by using vegetative parts of plant. And I have discussed earlier with you that which are the vegetative parts of plant. Root, stem and leaves are the vegetative parts of plant, whereas flower is the reproductive part of plant that carries the sexual reproduction or pollination. Focus on the vegetative propagation that is artificially carried out. So come to the first process, that is cutting. This is the method in which stem is the cutting maybe from stem branches or leaf cuttings, but here we are talking about stem cutting, and the example is rose plant. Many of you have seen rose plant in your gardens, and in this type of artificial vegetative propagation, a stem cutting from a rose plant will grow and form new plant. We will take a cutting from the stem of a rose plant and it will grow to a new plant. Here you can see that here is a rose plant and here it is a stem, and if we cut the stem of this rose plant, the cut stem will grow its roots, shoots and flowers as well, and a new plant will be grown, and root and leaf cutting can also be done. And so this was all about cutting, and the example is rose plant. Next method is layering, and example are the shrubs. Shrubs are the small plants that grow near the ground, and the most significant characteristics of shrubs are that they are small plants in height and they have thorns on them. And rose plant is also a type of shrub. There are so many other shrubs which have small plants, and the method which is used in layering is that when a branch of shrub touches the ground, as you can see in this diagram, when it touches the ground, it produces root and form a new plant. And layering can be done by bending. As you can see here, the bending is done, bending of a branch, removing its ring of bark, that is the outer layer of the stem. When we will peel it, when we will remove it, and we will bend this branch into the soil and covered with the soil mound, it will grow into a new plant. So this method is called layering, in which the branch is touching the ground and it is molded with the soil. Before that, its bark is cut down, and so it will grow into a new plant. And examples are the shrubs. Now come to the third method, that is grafting. An example is fruit trees, and there can be such as oranges. You can see that different types of oranges and their species, and we can combine them by grafting. And in grafting, what will we do? Look here, that grafting is a technique of combining two plants. And it attaches the root of the bottom plant and shoot of the other plant, and so we will have a new plant that will have the characteristics of both these plants. And here you can see, here is a pot and here a plant is there, and its stem is cut down, whereas its roots are attached, and in the next we have combined the both, and here we have covered it, and now it will start growing. And it attaches the root and bottom of the portion of one plant. The root portion of plant that is used is called root stalk, and to the other plant, that is the shoot scion, from the top portion of another plant, they will combine and they will make a new plant. And this type of method is mostly used in fruit plants. So we have these methods, and the last one is tissue culture. Tissue culture, in this type of this is micro propagation, and this type of technique is used in which tissue is used from a plant and it can be grown into a new plant. So these are the 4 methods of artificial vegetative propagation. Hope so you will understand it very well. Thank you. Stay blessed. In my next lecture, I will give the advantages and disadvantages of vegetative propagation, because our topic is vegetative propagation and we have discussed this topic in very detail. First we have discussed natural vegetative propagation. Today we have learned about the methods of artificial vegetative propagation, and inshallah in my next lecture I will tell you advantages of this type of propagation and disadvantages as well. Till that, Allah Hafiz.